Hey everybody, welcome to our interval with I tonight. As I posted earlier today, we were going to do a review slash comparison of Hush. So I have Rory Carrington joining me here today and his Batman swag as well. And we just finished watching Hush, and I got to read Hush over the last couple of days, so have the fresh knowledge to compare and stuff. Rory has not read Hush or really delved into it in quite a long time.
I gotta
So,
say, I actually started reading Hush, and then I think I stopped reading and just went online and figured out who he was, looked into that. So the movie was it was kind of hard for me to compare what they were for that element of it. But I do have to say, the movie was solid. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
it was a good movie, entertaining for. So, brought a lot of different elements into it and a lot of different characters, surprisingly. They took
Yep.
out Huntress and took out Killer Croc, took out Thomas Elliot quite
To
a
some
bit.
degree.
To some degree, at least, yeah. And Tim Drake didn't appear at all.
Nope.
So, new
Swap out
Robin
for
and,
Damien.
yep. Um, Still a lot of the same characters though too. We got a Clayface appearance, and
Bane's like my jam.
Bane's
So
your jam. He is a good replacement for Killer Croc. I'll admit. I prefer Bane over Killer Croc. So seeing
agreed.
him in this and is that more violent aspect from his new Venom formula. It was very nice to see that comparison to Killer Croc's surgeries and being messed up in a different way.
Hmm.
So in the beginning, it even starts. Even the cover art shows some differences with
Oh yeah,
Huntress and Scarecrow and Bane and Killer Croc.
you can see those differences right off the bat.
Yep. So it's always interesting to know, like, even before you go into the movie, you're like, okay, they've made two major character changes there from what you can see on the cover, rather than having this nice split on Batman's side with Huntress and Catwoman. It shows the whole villains lineup in the front
On
too
the yeah,
instead. And so, actually going into the movie, they start off really different. Like, he doesn't know Catwoman's even back at first before
all
that
right.
whole
She's
chase
completely
and
MIA.
yeah, so she's been out of Gotham for a while or whatever, and now, but they meet at this ball or gala or whatever it was in the beginning, and Thomas Elliott's also there, who you don't even know at the beginning of Hush in any way. One thing I really did find they lacked in the movie for Hush was any of the background to Thomas Elliot and Bruce Wayne. So in the actual comic, they have like history of Thomas and
Mm.
Bruce together and how they really enjoyed this chess type war game with their little like wrist type soldiers almost. And instead, now it's just, oh, I've known him and we've been close friends since my parents died.
Yeah, it was basically just a sentence to get you caught up on their relationship.
Yeah, which even looking back, that sentence is the exact opposite of in Hush because they were close friends up until Bruce's parents died. Then they didn't talk anymore after that. So it's now been inversed where we've been close friends since my parents died. So
Mm.
it's interesting to know that rather than that early on friendship, now it's been later life friendship for them. And so I really like Damien as Robin. He is one of my favorite comedic Robins so far in the
I have to
DC.
agree. Yeah,
Like for the DC movie continuity,
like
them
the animated,
choosing yeah, so the
the animated
animated
features.
movies, how they're going with Damien as Robin a whole lot.
Yeah,
He brings a great comedic element to it. Just straight up telling Batman, use safety
you're right.
and
Yeah,
cover
yeah,
your
yeah.
drink. Don't trust Catwoman, but and the dog, though. The dog.
Oh,
Poor Ace.
Ace.
Ace got the short end of the stick. Now, Damien does have a lot of pets in the comics. I'll
That's
give him
true.
that. He gets a lot of different animals. Bat cow and a variety of others. So Titus being there, I guess it could be a good replacement,
Could be.
but
Maybe that's like great grandfather Ace.
it could be great grandfather Ace. Um, I also did miss Crypto. Crypto
Oh
is
yeah.
in the
Yeah, yeah,
comic
yeah.
and actually helps them find Poison Ivy in Metropolis, but it's completely not in the movie.
No.
No sign of Crypto whatsoever, which is rather unfortunate. I was hoping to see Crypto get a nice cameo here. And we also have to keep in mind with the DC continuity of the animated films is very different than where Hush played out in the actual comics, as Hush and the comics came after Killing Joke. So Barbara was Oracle, and
Oh,
Jason
that's
Todd
right.
had recently died, and Tim Drake was Robin instead, and so all these minor changes, and one big one, Lex Luthor being
Being
president in the comic,
right.
and
And in this, he's
Talia.
still just the billionaire playboy.
Yes, he still owns his company, and he's actually a member of the Justice League, quote unquote. Uh, Guess that's kind of where he's at right now.
Yeah. They
And we
really
don't.
melded future elements in the comics to what happened in this animated feature.
They did. They brought it all together in a very interesting way. I'll give
Mm.
them. They didn't. They had Lady Shiva still and a mention of the lead of assassins, but they
She
didn't
had a
have.
very short cameo. Did she have a bigger role to play?
Lady Shiva did not have a bigger role to play. She kind of just came and tried to rescue Talia at one point, but Talia and Roz both had pretty big roles in the actual comic of
Okay.
like being how Batman started to figure out that who Hush was and how the Riddler was involved with it all, rather than just figuring it out from the name of a broken in empty office of Dr. Thomas Elliot. So it's been a trip for me to see this. I really like the dramatics and the investigation found in Hush, and that was a lot taken away from, in my opinion, in the
That was
movie.
very much rushed in the movie. You could
Yeah,
feel that.
they wanted to focus on the romance, I felt, a whole lot more than they did in the comic. Like, there was a bit focus on that romance element too, but they didn't blend it well enough, I found, as
No,
to
no.
try to show that Batman's also investigating this person. Like, it's trying to just, like, even months pass at the one point in the movie, I think, which in the
It's
comic,
not.
it's
It's not
kind of
clear.
like just how it seems like it's a week almost or something, but Batman and Catwoman are living together for however long it is in this
However long
movie,
that
and
montage went on for.
yes, and then we even see them like living together at the point, so it's very different time constraint even, and like they even say we haven't heard about Hush in like 3 or 6 months or something they mention,
Oh
and
yeah.
so it's just that interest of like, oh, all of a sudden this villain's disappeared and now we're free, but then everything comes back together and they kind of try to refocus it back on that, but it just ends up very rushed in the last 10-15 minutes of the movie there. So I'm looking forward to see where the DC animated movies move next. I know the next one they're doing is Wonder Woman, I think
Yeah, I heard about that.
1984 or something like that. I know it's a Wonder Woman one, can't remember
It
the
seems
exact.
more like another origin with Steve Trevor, how they meet, and Themyscira.
Okay, that should be interesting. Going back to like more origin type. I guess that way we won't see probably much of how the animated universe is expanding into its own realm or anything, but it'll be interesting to see how they bring in the connection point from the
Mm-hmm.
beginning for Wonder Woman. And I'm looking forward to see where they move with the Bat Family,
Oh
as
yeah,
we haven't seen like Killing Joke was not too long ago, but Batgirl is now already skipped over from the Oracle element.
that's right. She totally just bounced back from getting shot in the spine.
Yes, she did. Like, even in the end of the Killing Joke animated movie, they show her going into a closet and, like, going all Oracle style. But I've never seen that
No.
elaborated upon in the movies yet. So it kind of was a really missed opportunity, I think.
I'm
And should have
calling it
been.
right now. I bet you their animated features are trying to build up to the marriage between, or the wedding between Catwoman and Batman, and that's why they're focusing so much on their relationship.
That would be an interesting take on it, just to catch up to that point that happened like a year ago now, I guess, in the
Yeah,
comics.
about that.
And so just to see where they can take that in their own style and stuff and get to that Tom King element that everybody looked forward to so much. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed our kind of review comparison. Hopefully, we didn't reveal too much or anything. We're trying to avoid revealing too many spoilers, but there's a lot of good things in it and a few things to take with a grain of salt. And hopefully, if you get around to watching it or reading it, you can enjoy it. I definitely recommend the comic first and then the movie after, just to kind of see the different elements that come into play and see.
I would always recommend that comic first, then the movie.
Yeah, that's good. I've never done it that way before, so it was an interesting way to take it. I've only ever watched the movies, read a lot of comics too, but never in a comparative style.
Yeah.
So this was a first time for me. And thank you for joining me today, Rory.
Oh, it's
And I
my
hope you
pleasure.
enjoyed the movie and the opportunity to just talk about it a bit.
Yeah, both is
And
great.
yeah, we'll see you all around. And Rory's actually joining me for streaming on Intervals with I tomorrow on Twitch. So if you tune into
Looking
that,
forward
you
to that.
could see that. But yeah, that's all we have for tonight. And we'll possibly look into more of these in the future. Have a great night, everybody.
Later.
Bye.